What's going on, everyone? Nomad here, bringing you a quick Magic the Gathering video. Today we're going to be playing blue-white artifacts, focused around the Simulacrum Synthesizer. This is a deck that's been floating around for a while, but I feel like it's really hit its stride since the bans in Standard. I feel like now that aggro is not all over the place and killing you on turn 3 and 4, this deck can actually do stuff now. I'm a big fan of Azorius. It's probably my favorite Ravnica guild. Uh, and artifacts are cool, and I've loved Simulacrum Synthesizer ever since it was released, and I've been wanting to build a deck around it, but it was never good enough to really merit crafting and actually building the deck. But I finally bit the bullet, so we're doing it. Um, so Simulacrum Synthesizer, when it enters, scry 2, which is awesome. And when another artifact you control with mana value 3 or greater enters, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token. With this token gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. So we are going to be proccing this as much as humanly possible. That is the goal of the deck. Um, we have Repurposing Bay here, which allows us to sack uh, artifacts and get an artifact that's 1 mana value higher. So we can sack our 2 mana to tutor for the Simulacrum Synthesizer, which is pretty cool. All our removal is going to be artifact based with Perilous Snare and Assimilation Aegis. And then we have United Battlefront, which is going to allow us to look at the top 7 and get any non-land permanent with mana value 3 or less. So anything left of United Battlefront here, this column and this column, we'll be able to hit 3 copies of Day of Judgment, uh, 2 copies of Solemn Simulacrum. It's a good 4-drop artifact creature. It lets you ramp, and when it dies, you can draw a card, which is great. Memory Guardian is going to proc Simulacrum Synthesizer, and it's going to be very, very frequently 1 mana. It's pretty easy to drop this for 1 mana, so it's just a great hit. 3 copies of Voyage Home, another card with affinity for artifacts, just lets us keep drawing to our deck, keeps us alive, which is really important. One of the problems that this deck has is it just runs kind of crappy 2-drops, and it's really not until you get to 3 mana that you actually do anything. So the weakness of this deck is aggro. Aggro decks will take you down if you miss a land drop, or you don't get your Simulacrum Synthesizer ticking, or you don't hit a Perilous Snare when you need it. You're screwed. It's not going to go well for you. Um, so being able to get some life back is nice. And the final one is 1 copy of Nexus of Becoming. I think 1 copy is enough. You don't need more. If you get it, it's great, but it's not going to make or break you. It's just a good way to leverage out the end game and make sure you win. If you're able to exile artifacts from your hand and put them on as golem artifact creatures, it can really turn the game in your favor. Running 24 lands today, and we are running 2 copies of the Fomori Vault, which allows us to discard a card and look at the top X cards of our library, where X is the number of artifacts we control. Like, very often, you can do this for like 10, and so it just lets us really dig for what we need when we need it, which is going to help a ton. I should be running more copies of Perilous Snare, but I only have 2 of them, so we're kind of trying to supplement with Assimilation Aegis, but Assimilation Aegis only hits creatures, which sucks, whereas Perilous Snare hits non-land permanents, so it's just better. It's just a better card, and it has less mana restrictions. Um, and then the other removal is Spring-Loaded Saw Blades, which is not super good. It's nice that it's flash, but it has to hit something tapped, so it's kind of like Elspeth Smite in that way. But yeah, that's the deck. Let's get into it. Alright, our first opponent here. We have good mana. We have the Simulacrum Synthesizer. We have the Repurposing Bay. This actually might be the perfect hand. I couldn't ask for much better, so we are going to keep this. Just adjusting volume here. Alright, and we'll do a Clay-Fired Bricks. We'll play the land that he can see. We might be walking into an abrade here, but that's fine. And we did have a stick there for 2 mana. We'll put the anchorage on the bottom, and we'll keep the battlefront on top because we can play it next turn if we want to. We have 2 lands in hand. We're gonna hit our curve. I'm not too worried about it. Well, that sucks. I think we're gonna snare that. Screaming Nemesis is a really nasty card, and not being able to gain life is really gonna hurt us. Um, if we spring-loaded Saw Blades it's going to hurt us, and then we can't gain life. Oh, are they gonna abrade? Oh, they have another one. No blocks. Alright, so what we can do now is we'll repurposing Bay. Yeah, we'll do this now, and the reason being is it's going to make our token do more damage because we're going to get more artifacts on the field. We will sack the Clayfire bricks because he's done his job. And we'll grab an Assimilation Aegis. Alright, now we have lethal on board, unless they put up some blockers here. Probably going to be playing United Battlefront next turn here. Would love to hit untapped land next turn. We could do Battlefront into Clayfired bricks, which would be nice. And we'll just put this up, and that's lethal. Good GG to our opponent. Alright, on to the next one. Okay. Opening hand here is looking a little janky. The 2 Day of Judgments is a little much, and we don't really have the artifacts that we want. We don't have anything to make Memory Guardian cheaper, so I think we're gonna mulligan this. This looks better. And we will keep... I'm trying to think of what we put on bottom here. I think it's Voyage Home. I think it's just too expensive early on. There's no guarantee that we're going to be able to hit it. Whereas we do have a guarantee that we're going to hit what we do have in our hand and be able to play it. This guy has the Yuna sleeves. It makes me wonder if he's playing Yuna. If he is, Day of Judgment could be really useful. So I'm going to keep it on top. That's just a guess. I don't know how many times I've surveilled a Day of Judgment and realized it would have been the perfect card had I have just kept it, so we'll keep on trucking. And we will build a synthesizer next turn. Looks like it's just mono green. Plains next turn into a Memory Guardian. I think that's fine. I don't think I'm too upset about that. Alright, we could Day of Judgment now, or we could try and make them commit more stuff to the board so we can sweep it. Um, if they have like a surveil land, or pardon me, a fetch land or something, Mossborn Hydra is going to go crazy next turn, so I think we're just going to grab it with the Simulation Aegis and play our Scry land. I know I kept this on top. Yeah, it procs Simulacrum Synthesizer, so I think we keep it. I'm more scared of Mossborn than I am of Bristly Bill. And there's the Tifa. So we're just going to block whatever we need to this turn. Hopefully they play another 2-drop so we can get maximum value out of our Day of Judgment. Doesn't appear to be that way. So we will go to combat, I think. I think we'll play our Memory Guardian out. Actually, no, let's not, because we'll be able to rebuild our board. Now, does he have Indestructible? Maybe he does. We have to try, though. No, he doesn't. And play land, say go. We'll just play our hand here. Make some threats. There's the fetch land from our opponent. I don't think they have anything good in hand, otherwise they would have played it first before the fetch land. And we will block here. If they want to pump, let them do it. We'll double block, force them to use their resources. Because he's thinking about either using his ability. Yeah, he's thinking about using the ability on Bristly Bill, but that's only going to take him to 10 power, so he's still going to die. Because he's swinging into 12 power. I think he's just considering what his best option is. It is a tough choice. Okay, I don't think it's this tough of a choice. Holy cow. It is 5 mana to do this, yeah, it is. So he can double his 1/1 counters, which would take him... We put 6 1/1 counters on it. Oh no, it wouldn't take him to 10, it would take him to 8. So yeah, he's... I don't know what his plan is here. Alright, that's pretty good for us. And we will end the turn. I think we'll just make a token or something on our opponent's end step, or do a treasure token, just depending on what they play. I don't think they'll have any haste creatures. They're just gonna scoop. Alright, GG. It's another win with blue-white artifacts. Okay, opening hand here is not looking satisfactory. Now, if we had a blue land, I would be a lot more sold on this hand. There's part of me that wants to do the stupid thing and say Heart of the Cards and just go for it, which is what I'm going to do because I'm a fool. Because yeah, if we hit one blue land, we're pretty happy here with 2 pieces of good removal and Simulacrum Synthesizer, Memory Guardian that we could snowball the board pretty fast here. If we don't hit blue land, we look like an idiot. But those are the risks I'm willing to take. Looks like another mono green landfall deck here. The player base is really in love with this deck. I see it all the time. Ooh, that stings. I would have even taken a white land there just for board clear. Untap. We need untapped land here or we lose. Okay, we get it. Come on, blue land. We'd be in an excellent position if we hit blue land. We are going to Perilous Snare this. We don't have a choice. Chocobo Racetrack. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 2/2 bird token. Whatever. Okay. Okay, we don't need to activate that. We can do this at instant speed if we need to. We'll bin the assemble, yeah, repurposing bay. We don't have any artifacts, so we want to sacrifice. Yeah, we'll put that in our hand because that is actually removal. Alright, when we do hit blue land, it is tapped, but I will take what we can get, and if it's not blue land, it's going in the bin. Oh my goodness, we get on top blue land. That's fantastic. Okay, so we're going to play Synthesizer. We're going to keep another Synthesizer on top. We'll keep the blue land underneath it. And we do get to remove one of the tokens. And make a blocker of our own. Now, I don't think they can kill us. We're going to have Voyage Home ready to rock here next turn, which is going to give us our land back. Alright, what is the correct order to do this in? Well, I think we just play Synthesizer first. We don't need that. And then, so we could go Aegis. I don't think that's correct though. I think we do Memory Guardian. And we make a threat. Our opponent here has some serious faith in their deck. I can't believe we got out of that. That was pretty remarkable. We hit our lands just when we needed to. Yeah, some really lucky top decks there. All right, we've got round 4 here, I guess now. Lands are looking okay. We do have Simulacrum Synthesizer. The 2 Voyage Homes I don't like, but this is good enough to keep. We'll say hello to our opponent. Oh, nice, 2 Synthesizers. Looking a lot better now. And on top land, fantastic. Yep. Yeah, if our opponent doesn't start getting aggressive here pretty quick, I think we're going to start taking over the game. Yeah, they're playing dinosaurs, so they need time to ramp. And we are not going to give them that time. So we will play Synthesizer and say go. We don't need the Fomori Vault. Probably don't need this either. Well, I'll keep a land on top. We do want to be hitting our land drops pretty consistently. That's fine by me. We have another Synthesizer in hand. Perilous Snare and a Simulation Aegis. I'll put the Aegis up first. This, oh no, I thought this thing tapped for mana, but it doesn't. The Hatcher sucks. That's super annoying. Alright, we will Aegis the Hatcher. We will play this, and we will play the Memory Guardian as well. Alright, and let's see what our opponent does here. If we get on top land here, we can Voyage Home into Solemn Simulacrum, which would be nice. That would be 2 lands in the turn, allowing us to ramp pretty hard here. The gears are turning in our opponent's head here. He can't evolve this egg token now because he doesn't have his Hatcher, so that's just a useless piece of cardboard. He's probably thinking about flipping this, which is a good choice. Alright, so our opponent goes with that method. We are burning their resources here. I think we're happy to trade. We get tokens very easily and they do not. It is making our Perilous Snare not as good. There's part of me that wants to snare the Poet of Unity, but they're at 6 mana right now, and they may have bigger threats. So I think we're just going to play Solemn Simulacrum, ramp, and continue. Yeah, that's totally fine by me if they want to do that. And we will go get a blue source. Really wish Voyage Home was instant speed. Then it would make a really cool card. But as sorcery, it's questionable. I mean, it's an uncommon, so I think it's fine. I think it's still a good card. I mean, affinity for artifacts has been probably one of the scariest pieces of text on a Magic card in Magic's history. Definitely, it's up there with like Cascade and Storm for sure. And our opponent is scratching their head, I think. I don't understand why people take so long to play their turns personally. Like I'm always thinking about what I'm going to be doing in the next turn. And I feel like I kind of know what I'm going to do by the time my turn comes around. I don't know, maybe that means I play too fast, or I don't know what that says about me, but I never take forever to make a choice. I just make a choice. I do think about it, I don't take long to think about it. Alright, opponent goes for Roaming Throne. Declaring Dinosaur. I would love to get rid of that. And we can get rid of that if we so choose. It is Ward 2, but that's fine. I don't mind going through the ward cost to get rid of it. And we'll Memory Guardian afterwards. And our opponent scoops. Okay, sure. Alright. Opponent's going first. We have the Clayfire Bricks to play on too, so we will be guaranteed to hit 3 mana. And then we'll have the Repurposing Bay to sack the Clay Bricks to go get a Simulacrum Synthesizer. So this is actually a very okay hand. We have the Day of Judgment, we have the Perilous Snare for removal, and we have the Voyage Home for eventual card draw and life gain. Turn 1, Terramorphic Expanse is questionable. And opponent shows us green. So I think it's just more landfall. It certainly appears that way. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be fine for land here. I will play for more Evolve. Repurposing base, say go. Next turn we can sacrifice the Clayfire Bricks. Probably play our top land at that point, and probably looking for a good Day of Judgment opportunity here soon. Would love for our opponent to commit more to the board. They must have some big stuff in their hand if they're not playing it with 4 open mana. There it is. Boiler Bilges is a scary card. Yeah, we will sack. We do not need another island, and we have another synthesizer on top. I mean, at some point, I'm going to Perilous Snare the Overlord. I'm not doing it this turn, though. So we'll just play the... we don't need to play the Archive, because we know what's on top. So we're going to play Anchorage. This is a good opportunity to do it. Ooh, and the Breaching Dragonstorm. So yeah, our opponent is doing big things. And what did they hit? Oh, Destroy target artifact or enchantment. That sucks. That really sucks. Um, if we play this, no, we still can't get rid of it. Um, do we just have to snare it? I really want to play Synthesizer. Um, or we take the hit. Was not the most mana efficient play, but I think we gotta be careful with our removal here because I think they're gonna have a lot of threats. And another Dragon Storm into Spring Bloom Druid. Okay, that's a bit of a whiff on their side. Yeah, these more aggressive type decks can really, really slow you down. And we will play Solemn Simulacrum. Definitely playing with fire here, but I think we've got to try. I really want to get this Day of Judgment on Boiler Bilges when he comes off impending here. Try to maximize our sweeper. Oh my good, this guy has found every Dragon Storm. That is madness, and it's another Spring Bloom Druid. That's really good for us though. That makes me happy. However, he is thinning his deck by doing that, making his probability of hitting bombs off the top a lot more likely. A lot of fetch lands too. I wonder if he's running some type of landfall synergy or something. I find that interesting that he would be playing that many. Why? What good does that do you? That's not going to win you the game. It's such a strange choice. Um, and we will block like this. Because I actually want him to die. So that we get the card. Alright. It looks like it paid off for the most part. We will tap the vault. And we will play a Perilous Snare. Or, not, pardon me, I mean Clayfire Bricks. And the reason we're going to do that is so that we can't sack it to get another Synthesizer. I don't really care about the land. And there is a Synthesizer. The scrying is nice too. That is one thing that I think is very undervalued with this deck is the scrying. Being able to really consistently smooth your draws and make sure you're hitting what you need to hit is really nice. That's something that Azorius usually does pretty well. I'm hoping our opponent is out of gas. Really hoping he's out of gas. Oh. Luckily, luckily they totally whiffed on the random encounter, and thank God they did, because that probably would have been game. And these go to his hand at the end. That's really interesting that. Um, oh no, it's a dragon, not a dinosaur that procs that. That makes sense now. So this is the random encounter deck. I've seen videos and stuff on this. It's pretty fun. Um, so this will make our voyage home super cheap. Any forest cycles? That's interesting. So he's probably gonna flashback his random encounter and play it for 8 next turn. So ideally what we want to do is we want to just make the widest board possible. Um, so if we play Voyage Home, yeah, we can play all of that, so we'll keep it. And then we'll Voyage Home. Then we will Clay Fired Bricks. And the reason we are doing that is so that we can sack it for our Fiinal Synthesizer. Oh, actually, we don't have a synthesizer because I believe one is in the graveyard, which that is my mistake. In that case, we'll just get Repurposing Bay. There. He's probably gonna have a tough time getting through that, I would say. That was a good hit for him. It's a pretty sweet card. This is a very old card from my understanding. It was a pretty good bomb in its day. Damn, our opponent got pretty close there. We'll double block like so, just in case he had some type of pump. Just as good practice. And that is lethal, I believe. I don't think they have a way out of this. Okay, Twin Moss Stormbrood. And GG to our opponent. Just making sure that we had the win there. And, alright. Alright, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Simulacrum Synthesizer is a crazy card. It is definitely worth the mythic rank, and it's definitely worth the craft. Once this card starts going, it goes crazy, and from what I can tell, artifacts are only going to get better with standard, like after rotation and stuff. Um, I think this deck is going to be really top tier. Like not my version of it. My version is budget cards I own. You can net deck this and make it really well optimized. You know, with full perilous snares and stuff, and not using the assimilation aegis and with better curve and stuff. There's some better low mana cards from Ixalan that you could be using. Um, but yeah, I think this is going to be a tier 1 deck, either within the next set or the set after. I know we're getting a lot of artifact support in Edge of Eternities, so I think these cards are worth a craft, especially the Synthesizer and the Repurposing Bay and Perilous Snare. I think these are great cards, um, and I think they're going to be seeing play throughout their time in Standard. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.